Good morning, Year 4. I hope you've had a really nice half term. So this week in English we're going to be looking at speech. So over the next couple of days we're going to be looking at the components of speech and what you need to use when you're writing speech. And then on Friday we're going to write our own speech between two characters from How to Train Your Dragon, because that is the book we've been looking at. So first of all, I would like you to think about what speech is and when it's used. So have a think about that, pause the video, have a think. So yes, speech is used to communicate between each other through everyday life. You know, to tell people how you feel, what you think. Like me, I'm speaking to you now. In class you'd be speaking back to me normally when I ask you these questions. So what I like to think now is, why do we use speech in stories or books? I'll pause the video and have a think about that now. Okay, so we use speech in stories and books so that we can see what the characters are saying. So in the like in How to Train Your Dragon, speech is used so we can see what maybe Gobber's saying, or Hiccup's saying, or Fishlegs is saying, and it sort of lets us see what the characters are thinking about certain situations. So today we are going to start looking at speech. We did a little bit a couple of weeks ago, but we are going to properly go through it today. So I'm just going to put you down onto the floor. So I do have this, and this is the hand of speech. You will have seen this before. And this is a great way and what we use when we are writing our speech. So when we're writing speech, we need to always first make sure that we have our open inverted commas. So this is our 66. So this is this one here. So this is our thumb. Then our first finger next to our thumb needs to be a capital letter inside the speech. So we need to remember that as well. Then our middle finger is, we need to write what was said by the person. Then after we've done that, we need to make sure we punctuate it at the end of what the person has said. And then we close our inverted commas using our 99s. So we are now going to have a look at some speech, and we're going to see what we think of it. So I've got it here. So this is our first one. So have a look at this. Do you think that this speech is written correctly? Just pause the video and have a think why. If it is or if it isn't. Okay, so we should have had a little think about if this is right or wrong. You should have said this is wrong. Why do we think this is wrong? Well, first of all, we can see here, this is in the wrong place, because if we look at our hand of speech, what does it say? We have our open inverted commas, check, capital letter, check, then we have what is said, then he punctuates it first, so these 99 should actually go here. Can we see anything else wrong with this? We haven't gone through yet, but also you might remember from last lesson, the A is wrong. This should be a lowercase, not a capital, because after the speech it is lower. So that is. Let's have a look and see what it says. Yes, here. So this is how it should be written correctly. Let me turn this light off so you can see that. So that's how it should be written. Okay, I'm going to move on. So now, I'd like you to have a look at this one. And we need to think of which words are the spoken words. I know it says circle and you can't do that, but you will have some activities like this on your worksheet. So you need to think, where is the speech? Pause the video, have a think now. So you should have had a chance to think about where the speech is. I am now going to circle where the speech is. This is where the speech is. Run. We know that that is the speech. Why? Because the speech marks are there. So now what I would like you to do is go to your worksheet and complete the first section. It's looking at where, it's highlighting where the speech is. I would like you to go to your worksheet and highlight where the speech is. I would like you to write where the speech, highlight where the speech is. There's 4 to do. Pause the video and do that now. Okay, so you should have had a chance to now write where the speech is. What I would like you to do now is take a look at this one and think about the words that are not being spoken. Which words here are not being spoken? Pause the video now and have a think. Okay, so you should have had a little bit of time and you should have decided that these are the words that are not being spoken because they're not inside the speech. And that is what it says here. So now we've done that and had a look at what the speech, which part is spoken and which part isn't. What I would like you to do in the next section on your worksheet, it is add the inverted commas, so the 66 and the 99 in the correct place. So I would like you to go back onto your Word document and put in the inverted commas now, please. Okay, so you should have now had a chance to retype. You should have had a chance to add the inverted commas in on your worksheet. So we're now going to move on. So now this is, we've got a little passage here. And we need to highlight the words and punctuation that shows there is speech. So we need to highlight all the sections that are speech and all the punctuation that is used in speech to get more of an idea about all the punctuation. So pause the video, have a think where the punctuation for speech is and where the speech is itself. Okay, so we should have another thing. So here we can underline the 66s because we know it's speech straight away when we see those. We also know with the section about him muttering, and he insisted because they are part of the reporting clause, which is how somebody says something at the end of the speech. It's about who says something, but we'll go more into that tomorrow. And then this we know of as speech because it is being spoken by the person. So now we've got this again. I'm going to leave this here. So you will now have a sentence that you have a picture of a girl and then she'll have said a sentence. You need to retype that sentence and punctuate it correctly. Remembering the hand of speech. This will help you. So pause the video now and have a go at that. So you should have now retyped and punctuated that piece of speech that was given to you. You should have punctuated it correctly. Double check it on this hand to make sure you've done all the steps. Okay, so we can move on now. So next, what I would like you to do is you'll see a little picture of two people at a zoo. You need to write your own speech about the zoo between these two people. So it could be what one of them says to the other, and then what their reply is. So it's 2 lines of speech I would like. Remember, when we're writing speech, when there's a new speaker, it needs to be on a brand new line. So remember that when you're writing that. So whoever says your first piece of speech, they will do it. Then you need to make sure you press the enter so it goes on to a new line, and then write the next line of speech. So I'd like you to pause the video and do that now. So you should have now written 2 sentences of speech about the zoo. And finally, I have a little challenge for you, and that is I would like you to find all the speech in the paragraph below. So it's the bottom one, right at the bottom. I would like you to highlight all of the speech that's in there. Okay, so you now should have completed the whole of the worksheet. If you haven't, you need to go back and complete it, because in other lessons I have seen that all the work is not complete. English is not only ever 1 page long. You need to make sure and double check that you've completed everything. If you miss things, I will just send it back to you to redo it. So make sure we do it first time round. And that is the end now.